Sadly, just before our newscast took place, we lost a fellow comrade and a great reporter, Ronak, and we are all sad for this loss, and he will live on in our
680 radio and broadcasting live on Confederate TV. I'm Wesley Gall, and with me I have our team of reporters, Cal,
Elward,
Brian, and Reed. Today is December 31st, 1863, and it has been a big year for our Confederate Army in the southern states. In June, the Confederate Army made a daring march in the heart of the northern states to take the war to the people of the North, just like the Northern Army has been doing to the South. We'll review this action with one of the key players, General Robert E. Lee, leader of the Southern Army.
We'll also discuss the other events occurred in the first half of the year, that is 1863, including the decision to issue the Emancipation Proclamation.
Hello everybody, I'm Reed Diaz, your man on the scene live at Gettysburg, PA. This year we saw the war being fought on northern ground for the first time since the war began in 1861. Let's review the events of the past year's biggest battle. General Lee's men fought several tough battles during the month of June and were confident in their abilities. They fought the Northern Army to a virtual draw in the largest cavalry battle to take place in the Western Hemisphere at Brady Station. The Confederates then marched to the north into the heart of the Union. The original objective was to destroy a key railroad crossing Harrisburg. Then, in the words of the General Lee himself, turn my attention to Philadelphia, Baltimore, or Washington, as may seem best for our interest. After the defeat at Gettysburg, the Confederates have retreated back to the South to regroup. Many have faulted General Lee for this loss. So today, for the first time this year, we're going to hear directly from the man about this battle. Well, it's General Lee himself. Nice to meet you, sir. Good afternoon, General. Good afternoon, General, and welcome to Rebel Radio.
Thanks very much for having me. I'm thankful for you giving me a chance to explain the Battle of Gettysburg directly to the people.
Okay, can you give us an insight on the march to the north? I mean, you were holding your own, beating a better equipped army on a regular basis, and then you decided to go on offensive against the north. What was your thinking?
Well, it was really simple, to be honest. As you point out, we are beating north on all turf on a regular basis, and that is an important point. The war has been fought only on our soil. This creates a very difficult situation for the people of the South and for our army. Remember, the northern troops take supplies when they march through the territory, and we had to show them how this felt. Additionally, that railroad crossing at Harrisburg was a big problem. The North was using that crossing to move almost all of its soldiers and cannons for the war through that crossing, and we had to destroy it. While we were there, we decided to attack on one of the major cities to bring the war effort north and to make this real for the people of the North as well.
Okay, I think we can understand your reasoning. How did the battle at Gettysburg actually start?
Well, that is not where we planned to start the big battle of the year. We had our troops rounding up war supplies, mainly food, and our cavalry corps spotted a group of Union cavalry. Our thinking was that we need to beat them here and now before other troops arrive. The Union cavalry put up a very good fight and we were able to defeat them, but it almost took most of the day. Because it took most of the day to beat back the Union Army had to take time to bring up the main portions of their army. It was as if fate brought these two armies together on the ground to have this battle.
Did you know that day two armies would bring your army so close to victory? What happened?
Well, that is really the question. That is really the question, isn't it? I think it can be summed up in one word: communication. If we had a tool such as Rebel Radio to communicate with the various forces we had in the field, we would have known that we are only a couple hundred yards from the Union supply trains and could have turned the entire tide of the war. Simply sending a few hundred additional troops would have made this difference, but it is what it is. That night, as the generals discussed strategy, we decided that a massive assault along Cemetery Ridge was the way to break the back of the Union position. We selected General Pickett to lead the charge.
And that leads us into our last question. Can you tell us what happened at Pickett's charge to the Cemetery Ridge?
Of course, we sent 15,000 well-trained, well-armed soldiers that marched bravely across an open field to attack the Union Army. It was a very difficult battle to watch. Many good, decent men died as honorably as a soldier has ever died. In summary, we simply did not have enough of these men to take the position from the Union Army. If we had 10,000 more men, we could have carried the day. However, we didn't, and we lost, and were forced to retreat to the south to regroup and prepare for the rest of the war. And that is the tough part of the war. The enemy does not give you time to regroup. You have a battle day and day out. We have had many battles since Gettysburg as we retreated. You don't get a break in war.
Thank you, General. It's always a pleasure to speak to you.
Thanks for the update, Reed. That was a great interview. Now we move on to another big event this year, the Emancipation Proclamation, issued by President Lincoln of the Union on January 1st of this year.
Thanks, Brian. I'm really excited to be on Rebel Radio as well as Confederate TV. It is a pleasure to be presenting to our audience today. The Emancipation Proclamation was a very important document for both the North and the South. Clearly, it was more important for the South in terms of what it meant, but it served as a catalyst for the people of the North. So, first, what does the proclamation actually mean? It means that slavery is technically over. Of course, certain portions of the South don't yet recognize this, but for all intents and purposes, while slavery is not ever going to work in the long term, President Lincoln has certainly accelerated the end of this horrible practice. Here's a piece.
Alright guys, now we got a special little interview we got. Somehow we got to obtain Mr. Lincoln, and he will be here in a couple seconds. So, yeah.
Slavery is horrible.
Why do you think that, Lincoln?
Because you are taking away men and women like yourself. You're taking away their rights. You are the same as them, except just a different color of your skin.
And that makes all the difference sometimes, don't it, Lincoln?
Nope.
Yes, it does.
All you Confederates are so stupid.
If we're so stupid, why are our men going out there to fight and to die?
Because they're stupid. They're
Your men
dying
are
for
equally
an
stupid
unjust
then.
cause. For an unjust cause. They are dying.
General Lee, kick your butt.
Kiss my Emancipation Proclamation.